Welcome everyone to the start of a new gameplay series on Terra Invicta. This game has really got its hooks in me. I love it. I think it's going to be potentially the game of the year for 2022, which has a lot of good games coming out. So that's already I'm positioning this in a high place. But instead of just raising your expectations about how great the game is, why don't we just go ahead and jump into some more gameplay. I did stream this on Sunday, and of course I should make an obligatory mention to PerunGamingAU, who's done a fantastic series on this. It's been both tutorial and let's play, and it's been a blast to watch, so I highly recommend you go check that out. In this game, we're going to be trying something a little bit different than his strategy, which I don't know, but it seems to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest. And that strategy is to take over the EU and use that as, by balling all the EU up into a single nation, there's a big reduction in the amount of control point influence that you are. You have a limited amount of control points that you're allowed, and you can kind of min-max it, power game it, whatever you want to call that. It's pretty effective. I have a different strategy, which is also, I think, a little bit more comedic, and I'm sure there's lots of memes that could go along with this strategy, and I'll explain it when we get into the game here. But another thing I do want to mention is that the game, so much I want to mention. First of all, it's from the developers of the Long War mod from XCOM. I loved XCOM and I really enjoyed the Long War, so it shouldn't have been a surprise that I would like this. I feel like they basically just took the best parts out of that game. But you can watch this, there's no audio, the voiceovers will all be done later. This is just a demo, I should say. Make it very clear that we're looking at a very, very early build of the game that has been released as a demo. Okay, anyways, I want to mention one quote that I read the other day about the Long War. It was from the developer of XCOM, one of the developers of the XCOM itself, who said, XCOM, the original game, is basically a 20-hour tutorial for the Long War. So the Long War has been praised by many people, and I think it's nice to see that the developers the designers and developers, all the team from that has come back and they made this really great game that I think this is one of those that could be something I play on, whether or not it's on the channel or not, for a very long time. I would liken this a little bit to the Superpower 2s, the Supreme Rulers, where it looks like there's a lot of replayability in this. Okay, so now we're getting into the game. Oh, okay, so this happens not infrequently. Somebody mentioned in the stream that Russia is the largest geographical nation on the planet, so not too surprising that aliens will end up randomly crashing there. Also, it's kind of funny because this is the strategy. I don't know if you saw from the thumbnail or guessed already what I was going to try to do, but our strategy is going to be to take over the Eurasian Union. And that means Russia. So Russia starts in the Eurasian Union with Belarus, Kazakhstan, and I think Armenia. And I don't know if Kyrgyzstan is also in there. But not only that, so that's not much of a union. If you can think about all the countries and so much GDP and research and just really powerful countries are in the EU. Obviously. But if you can think about it from a different perspective, Russia borders a pretty powerful superpower. And that superpower is China. So what I'm going to try to do is, and I would liken this to, in the board game of Risk, there's Australia, which is worth 2 armies, Africa's worth 3, South America's 2, North America's 5, Europe's 5, I think, and then Asia is worth 7. Nobody usually gets Asia because it's too big, it's too many territories, too many entry points, it's very hard to hold. We're going for the risk strategy of getting Asia, because that's my plan here. Our first steps are going to be to try to take the Eurasian Union, and despite only having 5 or 6 nations directly, the Eurasian Union does have claims on a lot of other nations. So we have Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and we also have, which is probably evident from the world news, but I'm going to stay away from it, but here it is obviously. There's Ukraine, and there's also the Baltic states. So we have claims on a lot of places that we'll probably go and push via war. So that's the plan, is just to take a lot of territory and build our own Eurasian Union. And then we'll be bordering China with some pretty big influence. Now, our goal is to take China, but because of doing that is going to require Himalayan states and Pakistan. I mean, maybe, yeah, probably Pakistan in the process. We're going to get a lot of nations which border India. So I also would like to take India, and that's what I mean by the risk strategy of going for that. Anyways, let's actually get to doing this. Now, because RNG is such a big part of the game, I may do some game restarts or whatever. I mean, essentially some save scumming. Because I want to get this thing going. I want this strategy to at least... Oh my god, you're terrible. Wow. 1 persuasion. Well, Barbara Dalton is going to be a real anchor to pull in the very beginning of this game. Please tell me that and you're only persuasion 7, which hardly offsets it. Well, we will recruit 1 more. So we have 1 from the US, 1 from the United Kingdom. Let's see who else is out there. Please, 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 please give me somebody with higher persuasion than 5. We have... This is the most cursed start I've ever seen. So this is like a great candidate for my talk about how we're just going to go for things. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just restart the game or whatever. This is the first opportunity for me to put that into play. No, I'm not going to put it in. I'm not going to do that here because we can work with a persuasion 5, persuasion 7. The persuasion 1 person can just take like really low hanging fruit, ones that are like give me's, almost 100% for some people. Probably only be like a 70% for them. We'll still go for it. Now, with the other stat that I'm going to be looking for, I mean, I guess I should actually peruse them. Let me actually start off by doing a much deeper dive. We need to see, okay, wow, okay, so Barbara, you're not as terrible as I would have thought, because you do have this computer scientist thing, when this is actually pretty good. There's a hacking event which can happen later, and this computer scientist can override that. Just to give you guys a little background of my experience with the game, I probably put like... Well, I wanted to say 30 hours, but a lot of hours into this game. Maybe more than 30 hours. I've really been invested in it. I've been watching Perun's series myself. So I feel like I've actually gotten a pretty good handle on the game. I'm not an expert, but I'm at least average at this point. So I have a little bit of knowledge to work with. Won't be doing completely dumb things. Or, you know, if I do them, it's because I'm just a dumb person, not because I haven't tried to give the game a fair shake first. So research 5.0, I mean, unfortunately this is the exact character you would want in the middle game and not, and by the way, I mean middle game as in middle of the 7-year demo. This is a 7-year demo, so we can only play to 2029. Yeah, she is just gonna be, she's actually a great candidate for dismissal. I think that's the best thing about her. Oh my gosh, your administration is 0. This is just the worst. Okay, well, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna grab anybody, because these people are just poopy. So we're going to go ahead and grab... I think we're going to grab this person because they have pretty good administration. They have money, they have influence, indulgent, or inscrutable. Lone wolf, that's fine. I don't really care about that, do I? Administration command. I mean, she has good enough administration. I think we can get rid of that as well, if we want. Puppet master. Okay, we have suspicious. Enemy of the state. Where? Oh, in the UK. Okay, well that's not a problem. We can, you know, she doesn't have to go to the UK. Wait. No, she's from China. Okay, that's the other one that was from the UK. Her not being able to go to China, well, I mean, I guess it'll mean that the other... Well, we're only going to have one person who can go to China anyways, probably the highest persuasion. I'm going to go ahead and grab her. Pretty sure... The only other candidate, could, obviously in the very beginning, we can only grab 30 cost people. I like the 6th administration here, high command. I had to sneeze. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab her. Let's just go. Let's get on with this plan because we're probably gonna have to restart the game if this fails. So what's our plan here? We want to grab low-hanging fruit. We'll start off with our worst person first, which is, yes, you, Barbara.
Where do you need me?
Name of the game is all just this nation grab scramble. 17% for Belarus. This is going to be like a 70 or 80 or something percent like that.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, it's a 68% from our Persuasion 7 person. That just shows you how bad this Persuasion 1 is going to be to work with. Oh boy. Okay, good. I didn't capture that. I mean, I'm sneezing here suddenly. Where do we want to get? Okay, look at it. Oh, perfect. Armenia is a 71% even for Barbara. We'll give her one extra influence to make that 78. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure we're going to restart this one at some point anyway. So we're just going to go with this. I just want to get the initial 2 or 3 mission phases done, these assignment phases. If we have reasonable success in the first 3, I'm willing to live with the RNG after that because we'll have our plan kind of in place. But I need at least enough time to get a few places so that we're not locked out of our strategy. One of them is going to be Kazakhstan, but I think that to prep Kazakhstan, we can get Kyrgyzstan first. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. So I will give her one influence. I do like to have missions above 70%. It's kind of like where I find a good break point. You have 83, but you have the 44 in Kazakhstan. That might not be the worst thing for us to try to do. But I mean, you have a 68 in Belarus. So if we have Belarus, we have the Eurasian members. I think we'll have a pretty good chance of starting to open up Russia.
Putting our people in place.
So we'll do it this way, and we'll confirm assignments, and we'll blast ahead at 5 speed. Because there's not much more we're going to do. We're probably going to pick our... Okay, so this, all nations gain 1 cohesion. Which is, you know, potentially bad if for some of these nations which are already like authoritarian. We pick our ops, income, and then we might have a chance to reveal ourselves.
We've got our people in place.
Okay, off to a good start. Belarus is under control.
We got our people in place.
Off to a I mean, they're doing this because they don't. I don't want to keep these counselors, but they're doing it just to annoy me.
Mission canceled.
Okay, so that means that somebody else got there first, and it happens to be the Academy. Now, the Academy has a really good chance of picking off a lot of the early nations. We can live without Kyrgyzstan. We can take it over later. There's a point when the aliens have weapons, and then pretty much all of the Academy's control points are pretty vulnerable at that point, so we can still take this over later. Or we can choose to just not care and go to war with a place that's controlled by the Academy. I'd prefer to avoid that. Nonetheless, I'm going to call that a reasonable enough first mission phase. So let's go ahead and start trying to pick off other things. Like... well, Kazakhstan. I guess we really have to go to Kazakhstan now. You're at 29% there. You're at 31% here. You're a 64 at Azerbaijan, which I think is going to be a reasonable enough choice for us to try to go there. Oh, look at this. Now, I do not mind, particularly at least, going to war with the servants. They're a bunch of poopy heads. Barbara, what do you got for me? Please tell me you have like reasonable chances anywhere, please. 33%. You are just garbage. Well, yep, 33% is the best we can do, and this is a place that we can claim. So, this is a slightly different strategy than the EU one. I don't know, I really don't think it's anywhere near as good. But it's different, and from that perspective, it should be fun. Alright, you got a 60% in Kazakhstan. We'll raise that to a 76. Just spending a little bit of influence is fine, even though we have so little. But we're going to reveal ourselves soon, and once that happens, we'll get a nice 50 boost. So confirm and go. There it is. Okay, so we'll deliver our manifesto to the world. We're going to gain 50. Our organization is exposed a little bit for doing this. But that shouldn't matter in the beginning when everyone's only interested in controlling nations anyway, so it's just a land grab. We'll see how this goes. So again, I'm just cautioning you. I'm going to show this one. Okay, we failed our 77% chance in Kazakhstan. Our counselor was spotted in the process.
We failed to take control.
Okay, we failed Azerbaijan.
Our supporters are in place.
But we got Tajikistan. Well, 1 out of 3 is not great. We're basically sitting 50-50 for We've conquered 50% of the places we've tried to, despite having an running average of about 70%. That's okay. Well, it's probably not okay. I guess this is already the point where I'm gonna bid you a brief adieu. For you, it'll just be a second. I'm gonna go re-roll, get new counselors. Well, I mean, because I have to restart the game. And as soon as I do that, we'll come back after the first 2 periods. I'm gonna try to get like maybe at least 5 out of the 6 success. Preferably all 6 out of 6, so that we get these exact ones. Now, I'm not going to show that on camera because it'll just be doing the exact same thing I just did here, hopefully with better success. Okay, that was only an hour and a half wasted. It's not that it would really take that long, it's just that the game takes quite a long time to restart. Let's reintroduce ourselves to our new council, which is different than the old one. Now we have a 4, 7, 6, 8. Actually, this council... There's even more people. Can I see? Yeah, recruit. There's even more people. Like, look at this. Another persuasion of 8 person, another of 7. So I enjoy a game which has a lot of random rules like this. And I gotta say, this reminds me so much of the stats of the XCOM soldiers. Oh gosh, it's great. Anyways, okay, so let's see who we have. We have Danny Hembrum, who's my worst persuasion person right now, but I do like that he gives a lot of research. That's not going to be terribly relevant or not like super important in the very beginning of the game. I also want to make sure that just to establish like good practice, probably you're already doing this because you've presumably watched Perun's playthrough, but you want to get your first advisor right away. You can get You can get a 30 influence advisor right away, so you can do 3 missions in the very first mission phase. And then as soon as you get during the next mission phase, you have a chance to reveal yourself, which gives you 50 influence. And that will give you enough to get another one. Actually, it's enough to get a 60, but this person was an 8 persuasion and 6 we're not going to use that much. But this person was only 30 for us, so we got him on the cheap. And I guess that's what we should do next, actually introduce to these people. So just a couple notes. Make sure that you, if you're interested in playing like power gaming a little bit, I recommend getting the 3rd counselor before your first. You can actually, once the assignment window opens, you can still get him then, and then give him an assignment right away. You want to get your 3rd right away, and then your 4th after you do the reveal, so that'll be basically in time for the 2nd mission phase. Okay. So we have Danny Hembrum here, and these are the people we're going with now. We're locked in. Low persuasion. What is the benefit of this person? Just a lot of science. Unfortunately, not a computer scientist, so they can't. But the physicist is really good. Plus 15% energy research. I'm expecting that to be very useful. Then we have Terasi Pronoto from Kazakhstan, and isn't that funny that... No, she's in Kazakhstan now. She's from Indonesia, sorry. Anyway, she has something. Oh yeah, agitator, which makes her very popular in Kazakhstan, because apparently this nation is... I don't know if that's... Yeah, I think it's 4 or less nation 6. Is it? I'm not sure. But she's a criminal, and this is actually a really good thing. We'd like to have 1 criminal on our team so that we can collect criminal organizations. So anyways, she's mainly really good because she has really good persuasion. The things that I would like to criticize is that she has almost no administration, which I started off with a 2 administration and a 1 administration. Not very good. And that's why I picked up for my 3rd pick, even though, look at, for my 4th pick, this person was available and only cost 30. I could have gotten an 8 right out the door. But I just in case... when does the end of the month happen? Because the counselors, I think they can rotate out at the end of the month. I wanted to pick up this person with an administration 9, which I think is fantastic. They also have like really good stats, good money income, influence, research. So they're very good. So we've had them. They've already had 2 successful missions. And then we got our new person, Ziggards, who just happens to be from the Baltic states, which I thought was funny because I was exactly about to go do a mission to get the Baltic states, and we did it. Anyways, this person has persuasion 8. That's the main benefit of having them, but they also have pretty good stats. In fact, we have quite a lot of research points. So that's that's the other thing I wanted to say. when you first start, you should also make sure to switch your project. Unfortunately, I didn't do it right away, so I would say wasted. We wasted 14 research into the audience research, which just gives you a flat boost of 25 influence. I'll probably feel compelled because of OCD to actually complete this one at some point now, but management research is definitely where it's at. This is where we want all our points going into right away. I mean, okay, we don't really want all our points going into it, despite the fact that I am right here very highly prioritizing it. I'm still prioritizing the other stuff too, and right now we don't have enough nations to be actually spending research, so the research is going to be very slow going, so it doesn't really matter where we put our points anyways, like 1, 0.6, 0.5. This will be a lot better once we start controlling nations and we can put 15 science. Split that up instead of splitting up, what do we have here, 4 science total? So, okay, so what do we want our next missions to do? Yeah, and I have, despite spending an hour and a half trying to jerry-rig it in my favor, we still have we have plenty of setbacks. I just feel like this is the best we can do. I lost Tajikistan, I lost Turkmenistan, I lost Georgia, and unfortunately, the big bummer to me is that Georgia and Tajikistan are both the people who, in theory, I want to be allies with, or at least friends with. Humanity first. We were pretty much aligned in mission, although not quite in agreement on the severity or the means justifies the ends, or the ends justify the means type talk, which I think was what Humanity First would say. Anywho, let's go ahead and get to our assignments now. So Danny, you're my worst persuasion person. Where do we want to send you? I'm planning to actually try to go into Russia this next turn. So where can you go? You can see that we don't have a whole lot of options left. It might be time for us to start exploring the options down here, like Afghanistan. The only reason that would be interesting is to put pressure on Pakistan. India's at 1%, although we could take the Himalayan states. Actually seems like a good choice for this guy to go get, something done. Okay, you're one of our best.
Ready.
You have a 7, a 6, and a 8. Okay, but you actually have some characteristics which make you interesting. Let me remember what they are. Okay, you have -1 persuasion with 4 or less, but you have +1 where nations' cohesion is at least 6. So if we look at for something which is +6 and preferably has inequality, that is where you are going to shine. I mean, that'll kind of just be represented if we just look at the percentages here. We should find places. So apparently this is probably a place with over 6 and over, over 4 here, I think. So yeah, obviously Belarus would be a great candidate for this person. Where do we want to, what else might we want to pilfer? 18. So polarized, not high enough yet, unfortunately. Limited is too low, so this is like the worst, the exact opposite of what we want. This one should be good. This is a 66% to finish it off. Well, we are definitely going to want Kazakhstan, and I think we don't start getting the boost income until we actually control the executive of this. This one has the Bakanir Cosmodrome, which gives you 30 boost per year. Now, this is measured per month. Actually, 0.01 is measured per day, but typically you see these values talked about per month. You can tell that, well, I mean, going up from 4.9 to from 5 to 35, it's 7 times increase. But what do we want to do about it? I think we will just go ahead and take. In the beginning, since you only need 1 control point to lock it down. I mean, if it only has 2, I should say. You only need to take all but the executive. The executive can only be taken by one person who holds one of the previous ones. So that does mean that there is a benefit to spreading out very quickly. Like maybe we can go over and see who already took this. The Protectorate. We could try to go into South Korea, although they have. Wait, that should be shouldn't that be good? Let me get this straight again. It's less than 4. Oh, okay, so we do not want less than 4. We want greater than 4 inequality. I was looking at the wrong stat anyway. Greater than 4 inequality and greater than 6 cohesion. And this one has greater than does not have greater than 4 inequality, and does not have greater than 6 cohesion. So it is a bad choice. In fact, this one would be perfect for us. Alas, we cannot do it. Taiwan is another interesting choice. We would like to get in there just to start getting the China thing going on. 21% chance is a bit too low, so I'd probably defer to... Yeah, okay, let's just take Uzbekistan. That's not a bad choice.
Taking
For
control.
that, 75%. Gonna be trying to target
Standing
things
by
around
for
that.
orders.
Let's just start keeping an eye on the Taiwan, so 35%. Wow, 84% for that. Russia is 25. Let's check the last person. 25 for Russia. What's your stat? 19. Okay, so Zagurds, my man from the Baltic states, I should say. Riga, I thought, so. You actually have a good chance of doing this at 8 influence, which is pretty pricey. It's about our income, because if you think about +2 happening for... yeah, it's about 2.01. Okay, good. So if you think about 2 for 7 days, that's 14. So I just try to budget myself that we don't lose too much influence, because you can use influence to pick up orgs. So it's always good to be, you know, accumulating rather than losing. Yeah, so we can further increase Russia's chances of accepting us by doing some other stuff, which might be the route I go. We could get Azerbaijan, but again, people who are locked down are not a higher priority. Unfortunately, Finland is not claimed by the Eurasian Union. In fact, the big thing which is surprising to me is that like places like Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary, like basically the Warsaw Pact type people, I think they are claimed by the Eurasian Union later in the game. So maybe we could just start prepping for the inevitable future when we do want these. I think we'll go for Romania, and 79% is high enough that I'll just leave it like that.
At your service.
And then you are going to, well, we should get somebody, preferably somebody who has the ability to influence Russia. Or we could just do a, what do you have, public campaign in Russia. 71% chance of success as is. It is the place we want to go next. I mean, we don't need to spend any money. But we could. Or we could go try to take other places. I mean, I guess we can just try to take Bulgaria, since I'm pretty sure Bulgaria, Romania, and Hungary should all be part of it. So 350. We'll go with the higher GDP places, so we'll go with 350 here. And then Slovakia. They're technically part of the European Union, but again, we get claims on them later, so 76. 1 influence. So we'll save our influence. I'll take the 1%. Let me double check these. 71%. It's a bit low.
Acknowledged.
I feel like we should go a little bit higher. Okay, Uzbekistan is not like the highest priority, but let's double it. Let's go to 80. I mean, double the investment. Confirm assignments, and off we go. Come on, luck. Please hold together. Please. Game's gonna violently, you know, it knows I was. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're off to a bad start. That's Hungary. I'm pretty sure we'll have a second chance at that one.
We're taking over.
Okay, good. We had success in Uzbekistan.
We've got our people in place.
Okay, we had success in Romania,
Our
and we had
presence
success in the Himalayan states. So we had nothing to worry about. Okay, 1 failure. I mean, I'll take 1 and 4. I mean, 3 out of 4 is good. That's what I would like to say. Oh my goodness, no! The academy's already starting to open up on Russia, which means that it is high time for us to get in there. It's not going to be... I don't think it's going to be you who gets in there. 15%. It's probably lower now. So we're going to start taking over these other places just to exert a little bit more influence. 76, 69. Yeah, we don't really have any other... There's no other places we can go to influence. I mean, I guess we can get Belarus. This is a pretty good choice. I want Danny to get Belarus if he can, because I don't think his abilities are very good. And he has a 79% there. We'll just give him 1 influence. It only raises it by 4%. And it's actually better to think about this as the chance of not succeeding is going from 21 down to 17. It's not very good. I don't think it's worth the influence point. Okay, good luck. I mean, it's not super necessary that we get that. I think we will do a public campaign here, which is... We'll put 20 money into it.
I will tell our story.
And then that should happen before we actually try to take it with the Gurds. But I think it's high time to go. Wow, 25% chance. Not great. We'd have to get 64%. I'm gonna roll with it. It's a pretty low chance. Lower than I would prefer. And you have 57% chance here. We're already locked in. We have a 69% chance of taking Kazakhstan. I could just start putting pressure on that way again. Start taking states. I would prefer 21%. Could take a stab. It's not gonna hurt. I wonder if Korea and Japan are considered neighbors. I mean, I think Japan and Russia should be considered neighbors by merit of the Sakhalin Island. But yeah, getting Taiwan will help us with China. We could also take Myanmar, which, you know, not a great place on its own, but as a mechanism for entering into India and China, I think it's a good one. So let's give you enough. I'll give you 4 influence points to get that done. Firm assignments, and off we go. Just have to get used to disappointment. But mainly, oh my goodness. Okay, let's... Yeah, I mean, those gonna happen 1 out of every 5 times anyway, so we're slightly less than that. But if we get our control states in, I'll be happy. It's the most important thing. And then here comes the big one.
We've gained significant support.
Wow, we actually got a critical success, which actually makes up for us not getting the public opinion campaigns. This does raise... Okay, it's 1%, so that's not fantastic, but... yeah. But it does raise public opinion slightly. All that money wasted. Alright, so we actually have an army that we can control now. If it's the one that's in the Ukraine, it's not the one in the Ukraine. I might actually move this one into the Ukraine, because I am still anticipating taking over Russia. Now, with the extra influence I have, I am hoping that we can get Russia.
I'm here.
So let me just check. Yeah, you're definitely the best, up to 32. And with 8, you'll be up to 72. I think I'll take that. I'm gonna do the same thing here.
Standing by.
Oh no, you're not the one. 61, we can just start locking down people and then incorporating them, building the Eurasian Union right away. It's a little premature. Boy, I really wish we had gotten into North Korea. I didn't really think about it. But Myanmar, we have that one on lock. We have this one on lock. I guess if we wanted, we could start taking over places like Afghanistan to get influence on Iran, on Pakistan. I don't really want it. Like, what is Afghanistan going to do for us? Not a whole lot. I guess we can just release it later if we're not happy with it. Let me give him 1 point, 77% chance. It's going to exert influence, that's the main thing. It's the only thing I could really justify the use of it.
Ready to go.
And I do remember we should be going back to Hungary soon as well, because it only takes 1 for that one to get mucked up. But let's try another public campaign, blow some more money. 85% chance, my goodness. Well, we won't have to blow any more money then. We'll just do that one the way it is. What is your chance of going into... Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. We'll give you 1 point.
Bringing them on board.
Seems worth it. And... do we want to go in and occupy? Let's find out. I mean, this whole strategy is ruined. I basically have to toss out 3 hours of my life and re-record from new if we don't get Russia. Because the whole strategy... the very thumbnail itself it revolves around us getting Russia. So please game, please throw me a bone here.
Public sentiment is increasingly
Okay, that's helpful.
with us.
That's helpful. We almost didn't get it. But almost doesn't matter. It's a binary outcome. True or false.
We've gained
Pass or fail.
significant support.
Okay, we got Hungary, which is good.
We've gained significant
Oh no! Afghanistan.
We were unable to establish control.
We missed it by 1%. Yeah, well, the Academy is definitely doing their thing here. I think we're going to... Well, we should hopefully don't have to restart this damn recording. Because that's still 3 out of 4. We're kind of... I think we're a little bit behind on RNG odds just because 3 out of 4, and I'm typically choosing percentages over 75%. But it's roughly that. So, I don't feel too bad. Let's just try our hardest to seize control. So I think
Ready.
we're going to do the same thing. And we can always break in here later, but it's just not quite as nice. I mean, it's only 10 money to decrease our chance of failure by 20%. Yes, numbers are crazy, and you can say crazy things about numbers. But yes, this is decreasing our chance of failure by 20%. Even though that, well, if you know what I'm saying, it makes sense. But it's
Ready for my mission.
I'm using percentages on top of percentages, and it's easy to confuse people with numbers.
At your service.
We're going for this again. I am going crazy. 16 influence.
We'll bring this
Really
nation to
need
our
it.
at your
And then
service.
we'll, I'm not like thrilled about the Academy. There's a place when they do break, we'll have to share Russia for a while, but as long as we have the executive, it won't be a big deal. And I think that if nobody else has a percentage chance
Standing
more than
by.
83%, so I'm not sure yet. I'm still trying to piece together how it is, who goes first for what, and I think it's based on everybody has there's time periods which are like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 in the assignment when it's running. Like for us, it's the week. And phase 1 is your highest percent chance person goes. I believe that's the case, but it might not be. Oh, Poland, that probably should have been in the block. I should have been going for that. See, the damn Academy, we might not be friends. We are not going to be friends.
Standing by.
Let me see if you can go into Poland. 43% chance. Let's look at our chances elsewhere. Well, 80%. I should have probably done these last time so that we could, get a little bit more chance of success. With Russia, I should have been doing that. But since we're not, 88 means that guy won't go first. But I'm just going to hope that they aren't going to go for Russia. In fact, I'm going to do it this way then. I might as well go for this. If I bump it up by even a smidge, it'll go first, capture that. That should raise the relative percent of this one being successful.
Bringing them
So we're going to
our
go like
side.
that. And then we have
Where do you
Danny, Danny boy, oh Danny boy. What do we do with you? I don't know where you what is interesting. What can we do? Oh, well, 74% chance. It's actually pretty good. We'll take an 80% swing
Establishing
at that.
control.
You can also investigate aliens, which we'll want to do eventually. Okay, so this is actually an interesting decision. Not one that Perun showed on his, but I think that the best thing to do is actually to emphasize international aid, which will give us welfare and knowledge. And although I think the next best candidate, or probably it could be said this is the best candidate, is to go economy. But the welfare and knowledge investments are going to do a lot for us. Whereas this is just really good to make things better. This one is situationally can help you control things like unrest and inequality. I mean, it makes your nation better in a different way. It kind of sets up the long-term success of your nation. Whereas this is just more money, so it's also good. But I'm going to go with this one. Don't know if that's the right decision. Just the one I'm going to go with. And oh my gosh, I see it's already been 39 minutes. So we're going to call this video to a close here. I really love this game, and I'm really excited about this series. So I hope you're excited too. Since this is the first video in a series, if you wouldn't mind pressing the like button, giving it a thumbs up just to increase visibility on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. Otherwise, I hope I'll catch you back for episode 2. Until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.